shall receive.
We're live now.
Not the
You are
one.
welcome.
No.
Oh my god. I just saw that in the Dice&Dolts chat. So everyone just tuned in to me laughing my head off. If you want to check out what that was about, you'll see that in the Discord. Oh my god.
It will not be on
And on my
YouTube.
Twitter,
And on his Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Though not with Creatures Edition.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Sub rules. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to regroup myself there for a second. So, when we last left our heroes, they were camping on the road to Breeze, taking a brief respite while their tumultuous allies roamed the woods around them. So let's get you guys back into the action. Jukebox, what are you doing? Stop that.
Why? It's not playing anything.
Yeah, I know. It has this thing where if it has I have playlists on loop.
Yeah.
And one of them is titled Peaceful Ambience. It's just basically all the gentle background music. If that is still on the jukebox, whenever I switch maps and the new map has a default playlist from the Peaceful Ambience, it'll just not play. And it will still have it listed on the jukebox. So
Lovely.
it's something I have to look into.
It's something that might be a Roll20 issue.
Yeah, it's the new jukebox, and I haven't really had time to sit and play with it. Anyway.
It has a lot of issues.
One or two, yeah. So then, the
we-
night has closed in. The fog has made it seem so much darker on this road. Your two companions have retired to the tent. And what do you intend to do?
Well, looks like we need to keep watch.
Who wants to take first watch then?
You know what? I'll do.
Okay. So
If no one else wants. Sponik, or do you want to take first watch? I mean, after that you can get
Yeah,
a good
I
night's
think that
rest.
would be better.
Alright, Elaine, you second or third watch?
What?
Elaine,
Oh, sorry. I'll take the second watch.
then I'll take the third.
Okay. So then, the night draws on. Elaine and
Sponik,
Reister.
if you jump on the cart, you might have a bit better view.
Fair point.
Don't hurt yourself there, Zabornik.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine.
So then, I would like you to roll me a perception check as your companions go to sleep.
Okay, Percepticons.
Okay. You can hear the howls and growls of all sorts of animals, but they seem far enough off at the distance. However, you do hear something slightly below you. As you
Zabornik is going to carefully clamber down and check under the cart.
There's nothing under the cart, however, you do see Irina sitting next to the cart. Her eyes are looking off into the forest.
Irina? I didn't know you were still awake.
I couldn't sleep. They're still pretty
Something-
close. They're making me nervous.
How so?
She looks over to you and you see her eyes are yellow. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Is it maybe something that has to do with your new senses?
I think so.
Can you describe the feeling of nervousness a little bit more?
She kind of looks over her hands and tilts her head as if she's trying to find the words, and then says, I don't like the feeling of them being around. They feel dangerous.
Well, now that you have those instincts, it's probably not a bad idea to listen to them. We should probably keep our guard up with this gang.
That seems like a good idea. I always like talking to you, Zabonik. You always make me feel better. Can I sit with you this watch?
Absolutely. Some tea?
Please.
Here you go. Always have some cooking when I'm taking watch.
Okay. She kind of hops up onto the wagon, cupping the tea, and you can see that her eyes have gone back to their normal shade.
Also, here's a little secret. If you dissolve a hard candy in the tea, that's flavor.
That's a very interesting secret, Zabonik.
One of my most precious ones.
So she sits and she's just watching out into the forest. And every now and again, when you hear a howl in the distance, you can see her head tilt and her ears twitch.
You should probably try to get some sleep soon, dearie.
Perhaps you're right. I don't know how much of it was an act when Ez was talking about them joining us, but hopefully I can talk her out of it. Good night,
Please
Zabonik.
try. Good night.
Okay.
I believe that will.
That would bring you to the end of your watch, yes.
Exactly. Okay. Resta was up second, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Barnet goes over.
No,
and-
Elaine was second.
Oh, Elaine was second.
Resta was
Okay.
third.
Then the Barnet goes over to Elaine.
So, Elaine. You may wanna. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I'll take watch.
Very well. Careful, there's a sculpture, don't fall over it. Good night.
Okay.
And the Barnet pokes her head back into her shell.
Would you like to roll a perception check there?
Okay.
Okay. As you sit up on the spot on the wagon, giving you a clear view of the campground, you feel a little bit distracted. You keep your eyes on the edge of the woodland right in front of you, but you don't see anything other than the distant growls and howls.
Not even Resta's passive perception would work.
Your passive perception is halved when you are asleep.
Yeah.
So
still.
your passive perception would be 8.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't necessarily help.
So nothing interesting seems to happen during Sir Elaine's watch. The only thing you tend to notice is Reister tossing and turning in his sleep. His expression Very odd. You find yourself in a foggy glade. Ahead of you, you see the Vistani vampire hunter Esmeralda. She's not paying much attention to you. She's looking off in this direction.
What is this?
The bite of the wolves is truly a curse in this land. It carries a binding to a terrible master. You were lucky to escape this fate this time. Don't trust the wolves in this land while the vampire lord still lives. She finally turns and looks at you. You called for many gods tonight. These lands are clouded by the cursed mists. Even I could barely hear your call. What is it you seek? Blessings? Guidance?
More guidance than anything, Selune.
I'm surprised you recognized me. But
I was surprised that you chose this form.
you have no real connection to my temple. You do not know my true form. Besides, I felt you'd be a little bit more comfortable with a familiar face.
There were so many familiar faces you could have chosen, yet you chose this one. But that is of no matter. Yes, I was seeking guidance because your paladin, your champion, Sir Elaine, it feels like he is rushing towards something, towards success.
Yes, my dearest champion. He is consumed by doubt and wishes to prove himself. He does not realize he has already done it to me. He served me very well by finding the ravens. She kind of glances off to the side for a sec, and then looks back to you. Even now they speak of me, but his task is not yet done. He still has to protect the sanity of his pack.
You're speaking of the new child.
I am. The ritual was flawed, incomplete. Irina has had no time to adjust to her new form, and I could say her love and affection for Ez has blinded her to that. Until she comes to grip with her new self, her will bends to Ez's, as her blood spawned her power. However, she steps forward and takes your hand, drawing her finger along the scar on your palm. Your blood served as the bridge for that power. That means Irina will hear you if you speak. Whether she listens to you depends on you.
That is a very hard task that you ask of me.
I am setting you no task. I am merely giving you the tools.
And
Giving
yet you were
your
asking me.
guidance.
But how can I guide her when I could not even save those of my family?
Because you are older and wiser than you were then. And you have friends to help you this time.
You are right.
You can lean on Elaine, Zabornik, Irina, even Ez, as they will lean on you from time to time.
They seem to lean on me a lot.
Then speak to them.
I have said to Ez that I am afraid for Irina, that she might be not doing too well. But how can I prove it to her? Her love is blinding her as well as Irina's love is blinding Irina.
That is true. Although she does not know it, Esmerelle is a corrupting influence. A being consumed by rage and revenge. She's found her heart again. It's really up to the group to show her what that means.
Finding oneself is always hard.
That is true.
But what should I do with Sir Elaine now that he's trying to prove his worth to you and that he wishes to become a werewolf?
If you speak and incite my name, he will listen to you. He knows the tasks I have set upon him, but I feel he may need someone else to remind him that the Lycans in this land are under the yoke of the Vampire Lord. That is something he must remove before he can be safe in that form. Otherwise... As she speaks, she starts to walk forward, and you start to see the littered corpses of the werewolves. But as you step further forward, you start to see people, men, women, scattered around. You see the werewolf forms of Ez and Irina, blood smeared. And behind them you see a gigantic werewolf with the tattered vestments of Selune scattered on the ground around him.
So if I do not act, this is what will most likely become the rest of the group?
It's a worst case, to be true, but it can be easily avoided. As I say, Reister, I am not putting this all on your shoulders. Merely that you play your part. Let Elaine lean on you as you lean on him. Irina must come to grasp with her power. Only then will she be safe.
Thank you.
I cannot offer much more guidance than that for now. As I say, even my powers are dimmed in this cursed land.
Well, all I can do is thank you, because if it hadn't been for the quick thinking of Sir Elaine and your powers bestowed upon him, I would still be under that vampire lord, or rather one of his minions. And I thank you for this.
The vampire lord's power over you was rather strong. That took some doing. Be wary. He may not be aware that you have broken his charm, but when he finds out, he will be rather annoyed.
Annoyed enough to cause things maybe even worse than this.
Perhaps. As I say, this is the worst possible scenario. It can be easily prevented. But
Yes.
for now, you should sleep and rest.
Farewell.
She kind of nods to you as the area around you begins to fade, the mist closes in, and you wake to Sir Elaine shaking you for your next shift.
Come on, time for you to take over.
Sir Elaine.
Hmm?
Just had the weirdest discussion ever. But maybe it's better if we speak. You know that I have been praying to your god, Selune.
Yes?
Guess who just talked to me?
Oh, what about exactly?
About Irina.
Ah,
But not only her. I want to assure you that whenever you need something, whenever I can give you any sort of guidance, I will do so.
thank you, Esther.
Oh, and if I were you, and Selune is with me on this, I would delay becoming a werewolf until the influence of you-know-who is gone.
I understand.
Or otherwise, he would become your master, not her.
That's actually a good point. I understand.
And it's something these two might have to deal with as well. Anyway, I hope you will have a good night now that you know a few more things.
That's
You
it
wouldn't
to
mind
see.
giving me a bit of a boost up here?
Certainly. So I cut my hands and just lift him.
Yeah, you can do that easy enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Have a good night's rest.
I'll try to. I'm just kind of
See you when the sun's up.
see you in the morning.
Okay.
And with that, I start my watch.
You're a little distracted from the vision you've just had, but you managed to keep a close enough eye on the camp. Nothing comes down the road in either direction. Nothing comes from the tree line. Nothing moves around the tent. As the dim light starts to creep through the heavy mists and morning starts to overcome.
Good morning!
I sort of shoot bolt upright and draw my sword at that point.
It's all good. But at least everyone's awake now, it seems.
I believe so.
Even Zabornik was stirring.
My name?
Good morning, Zabornik.
Good morning. Do I have... Yeah, I guess I have to get up.
Yes, we all have to.
Okay, Lancelot, next stream.
Who's this Lancelot?
Don't
Rena?
ask questions I may answer.
Ez, good morning.
Morning.
Not a good
Ez
night's rest?
actually looks. Actually, yes. This is one of the few times I've not had a, for once. It's pretty peaceful, actually. Everyone else sleep okay?
Yes.
As well as possible.
It's good. It's good. You didn't have any inclinations to, run off and, Ez actually checks to see if Irina still has a scarf. Oh, okay. No, just
No.
checking.
No. You might not know it, but I'm free of his power.
Right, honestly, and she'll put her hand on his shoulder. Is just that joke. I know what it's like to be under someone else's control. It's not fun, it's not good, but I'm glad you're...
It's not fun being insulted by a deity about that either.
Insulted by a deity? How many times do I have to tell people I'm not a god? I mean, it's nice of you to say and all, but,
Ryster just smiles and walks away, chuckling to himself.
Okay. You have a good night, my dear.
Once I finally got to sleep, yes.
I'm sorry. I thought that you'd gone to sleep before me. I'm sorry, my dear.
It's alright.
I
Ryster just
wanted
looks
to
a little bit
go over.
concerned.
I just wanted to go over a few things with our friends arrive. Just wanted to run something past them. And Ez is going to wait for everybody to come around, and she's going to speak in a low voice. So, are we all on the same page about what we're doing with our furry friends?
Well, Serlane apparently has jumped in the campfire.
Burn the witch! Burn the witch! Okay. Oh my god.
Ez, you look like you could be one, but nonetheless.
That was non-canonical. That didn't happen.
Yeah, on the same page. That there is written on the page that we don't really trust them, right?
I don't trust them at all.
I don't either. But fortunately, they seem to be cowed enough and desperate enough that they will listen to me and Irina in the hopes that they swell their numbers. She'll spit on the floor. That's not happening. What we are going to do is we're going to use them as a shield between us and Baba Yaga. Done their job. Any survivors will be taken care of. I know, and she looks to Elaine, that you're all about trying to see the good in lichens and everything.
Thing is, werewolves in this country, not the good kind.
Exactly! Hey, there we go. I'm glad we're on the same page, my friend. So I hope no one minds.
I'm not exactly comfortable with hurting someone who is not a clear and present danger.
Zvone, they might, if we do not if we don't do as they ask, they might go and attack us. It's not beneath them to double-cross us.
Be that as it may, but I'm not going to be the first one to backstab.
Don't worry, I got you covered there, Daya. As chuckles.
Neither is anyone associated with me.
Consider it a mercy killing.
I'd consider a mercy killing if it's necessary.
This is why I wanted to bring it before the team. I mean, you know my opinion, but I don't want to do anything that disagrees with anyone's values. An alternative, I'll hear it.
To be frank, if we give them this area, they may stay here, but what's to stop them heading up to Valaki?
That is a very good point. They might become just as ruthless as the main pack.
For my money, the only reason I'm willing to use them anyway is because they look weak and pathetic. I don't see many of them surviving. And even if we don't kill the remainder, at least we've helped to thin out the numbers of another dangerous pack. I mean, and she also, who do you think did this?
Well, I guess we can cross that bridge when we reach it. Who knows?
We have to be ready to.
Assault.
It's Monic. We have to be ready to cross that bridge if it's necessary.
We'll see if it's gonna be necessary. If they are bad enough, they're gonna turn on us anyway.
This is true. I mean, we have no intention of doing that with them. Ugh.
See, Arena's curling her lip at the thought as well.
I know. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll deal with them, my dear. But in all fairness, yes, if they accept the original terms, either remain, stay in the domain of the witch, which, unless I'm mistaken, nobody really goes there anyway. Don't know what else they're gonna hunt except a bit of livestock and everything, so they're out of people's way.
Also, if we deal with a parasite ultimately, who knows what happens with these?
We'll keep an eye on them and see what happens, but if any of them turn on either of you, I will tear their throats out. Just letting you know that.
That is fair.
Ez just looks at Irina with just absolute love and adoration. It's my...
Oh dear.
You're very quiet, Elaine. What's wrong?
We do whatever is necessary. Turn on us, we kill them. Simple as.
What I like to hear. Ez just, smiles warmly at Elaine. At least as warmly as Ez is capable of.
Elaine's face is just remaining absolutely stone at this point.
Let's make a perception check or something to see if there's anything wrong. Elaine?
You could roll... are you trying to see if there's anything wrong with his features, or are you trying to see if he's being,
If he's deceptive, I believe.
Yeah.
He just doesn't seem very receptive because, last night, they were basically talking about, getting a little closer, and now he just seems very distant.
You can roll an insight.
Insight. Okay. Boopity boop.
21. Elaine, is there anything you feel should be shared?
He just feels very uneasy about having to kill these werewolves just at a drop of a hat, so he's trying to divorce himself from his emotions on it as much as he can. So when he does have to do it, it's just self-defense.
Ez is going to nod to herself, going to across the fire. She's going to say to Elaine, after tonight, my friend, and she just genuinely smile warmly at him. Oh, is nothing else we need to talk about? Are we just waiting for our friendly pack?
As Ez asks this, Reister, you hear movement up here.
Sorry, up where?
Just to the north of the camp.
I'll just be back in a second, sorry guys.
I think our friends are already here.
Oh, they've got names too. Oh, isn't that sweet?
Yeah, it's going to be terrible when we cut them down, says the player.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh. Those names.
Yeah. You notice this one over here, he is currently missing a leg. It's like his front right leg, it is gone from the elbow down. He also has no tail. He is torn and ragged and looks like he's been just basically set on by a pack of dogs. The other one
No.
doesn't look much better, but he still has all his limbs.
Well, there comes the cavalry.
Briefly with telepathy, Ez is going to send a message to Irina that says, "Remember, my dear, we just need to play nice until we don't need them anymore." And in Lycan, she will call out to the two that she recognized from the previous night.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, have you reached a decision?
We have. We'll hang around the edge of the town. If you do manage to attack the witch, he gives a howl. We'll come down and help you out. Until then, we're gonna stay a little bit in the outskirts. How can I say, she knows our scent. Or something like that. She knows when we enter the town.
Interesting. What else can you tell us about the town? Oh, also, and all this is in Lycan, by the way, so all you guys are hearing are like husky growls. In the comments, so the rest of the our pets will be able to understand you.
I'm sorry, I
she'll
didn't
switch
hear
to
that,
comments.
Thomas. Oh, right, okay.
Oh,
I got it. Alright. Well, a town's not that big. It was completely flooded and destroyed by the marsh, so there's not much left in the way of buildings. A few old ruins. There's part of the manor house still left. That's where the witch tends to keep her livestock. I will warn you though, don't touch the fence.
Why not?
She's got some sort of, I don't know, magic. If someone messes with it, she comes. We learned that one the hard way, didn't you, Stump? And he just kind of grows slowly.
Good to know.
There's an old ghost that hangs around the manor. She tends to stay in the middle. And she's got these, what do you call them? Scarecrows. These stuffed men.
Ah, tender.
They've,
That's interesting.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by Creature's comment on the chat. So he's got these stuffed men all around. They're harmless unless she activates them or you poke them, so don't poke them.
Well, depends on how they react to fire.
You try and burn them, they might scream. If they scream, they're all gonna jump on you. So, if you're gonna burn them, be ready to burn a lot of them.
Oh, you're singing my favorite tune, Jeffrey.
Are the hills alive with the sound of screaming?
Soon will be.
See a twisted little smile kind of comes onto his face.
Seriously though, do we think it would be a good idea to actually, quote unquote, damage part of the fence? If we can draw the witch out towards us, it would be easier for all of you to help.
That's true, it would keep her away from that blasted tree.
Tree?
Yeah, in the centre of town she has this, like, giant, well, It's like a stump, but it moves around and it smacks it. It's what she lives in.
Oh, that tree.
Yeah.
Zabornik looks at the staff in her hand quizzically.
It didn't used to be able to do that until recently.
Bornik, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking there are some interesting developments coming to a head here.
And she
Out of
taps
ca-
her step on the ground.
Out of character, has Zabornak actually been able to has spent the time to attune with that staff? Does she actually know what it does and everything?
She's attuned to it, but she doesn't know what it does.
Ah, okay.
That reminds me, Sir Elaine and I, we still need to switch those bows around.
Vespa just silently take out the longbow and pass it to Ryster.
And I have the short bow, which I wasn't firing.
Jeffrey falls to the ground, clutching his chest. No.
I was gonna say, Ez just like holds the bolt that was an inch away from piercing Arena and just glares at Reister. No, that didn't happen.
No.
No.
That didn't happen.
So Sir Elaine gets the short bow, and Ryster gets the Wrath of the Skies.
Mm-hmm.
Kinky.
Okay. That's a lovely little longbow.
Did I share that item with you guys? I did.
Yes, you did.
Just
So
gotta-
I need to do it this way because otherwise it doesn't show up necessarily. God damn it. Okay.
Miracles of technology.
Yep.
Okay. So, Ez is going to look thoughtful for a moment and say, so, are we attempting to be diplomatic, to pretend that we have come to worship her, or are we just going to pretend that we are coming to raid the town for information or for treasure, and when she comes to deal with us, we all jump her?
Well, I feel if we choose the second option, there's no need to pretend anything. Because that's effectively what we're doing.
I've just found it's so much more rewarding and easier when you try to bring them in close with conversation, and then you get a free strike in. I don't know.
I can't argue with that. Has any of the pack tried that before? She turns to look over at the others. Ned kind of looks at Jeffrey, and he says, once, but I don't think she likes us at all.
Any particular reason?
I think she just thinks we're mutts, to be honest.
Well, don't worry, my boys, because you're going to show her otherwise, aren't you?
The little pack, all the pack just start to giggle and rumble at that.
So, do we need to prepare anything else, or shall we make our way to get friendly?
We should probably pack at least the tent.
Oh, yes, I'll get that.
I'll be the one to draw her out.
Ah,
Elaine?
you are the better talker.
I think I can convince her. Certainly to give us some more information on how to destroy you-know-who.
Ah, no, mate. She loves you-know-who. He wants nothing to do with her, but she's obsessed with him. We tried to play that card. It did not work.
Elaine.
Thank you, Jeffrey. You see, guys, Jeffrey knows what's going on.
He kind of smiles at you, and you can see him kind of puff out his chest, and he while Ned just glares at him.
I hope these fellows don't speak Dwarven because Rice is going to be sad for him if he's a goner in Dwarven. Highly unlikely he speaks that language.
No.
If any of us, any of the party members understand it,
It actually
No.
doesn't speak Dwarven, no.
I don't know if Zbornik does.
Fun fact, with
so
Arena's
Barnick only-
background, she could have the possibility of having 7 whole languages, but
Ooh.
she doesn't know any other languages because there's no other languages in Barovia.
Aw.
She speaks high human, low human, middle human, left, right human, center human.
Gibberish.
In all fairness, I mean, depending on what the library her father's house was, they could have had, like a dictionary or like a Latin dictionary, the equivalent of that for dwarves, that. So you could retcon that later on that she actually has only read the languages, she's never heard them spoken before.
Nah, it would make no sense.
Okay.
Well,
Just
well,
stick
she
with that.
speaks 2 languages now, Lycan and
Yeah,
Common.
that's all she knows.
Mm.
In comparison to Ez, who speaks almost all the languages.
Oh no, not that many, believe it or not. The one she has, she uses a lot.
Yeah.
But Ez will nod to Elaine and say, "Yes, you do seem to be the most charming and charismatic. I'm sure she'll enjoy a expect to get her to reveal information, though. Do you want? What's the pitch? What's the game?"
I think I'll have to improvise it, I think.
Sir Elaine, you do know that when you're dead, you're not going to help anyone.
True.
So don't try to play the martyr card.
I'm not trying to.
No, I can see it already in your hand. You're ready to play it.
Rystar. Think about what we've been up to in the taverns recently. I play cards better than you think.
But sometimes your poker face is slipping.
Sometimes.
Just keep in mind that you are of more help for everyone, alive than dead. That's all I'm asking you to keep in mind.
With this part, I sort of, I don't look around, but I give the impression that without moving my head, I am looking around the werewolves around us. So, well, we'll just have to wait and see.
I'm glad we agree.
Oh, have we all decided? Shall we get going?
I got nothing better to do.
As I say, if you need us, give us a howl, we'll come running. We'll be hanging around some of the old buildings.
We'll see you soon, Jeffrey. And as this is walking away, I don't know if this is possible or not, but is it possible for Esper using telepathy in Ned's mind voice? Would I need to roll like a deception check or something to do that?
I would say yes.
Okay. Well, what Ez is going to try to do as she's walking away is Ned is going to hear in his own head, at this rate, if Jeffrey keeps up, then, I'm not going to get anything. I might have to get rid of Jeffrey if I'm going to get anywhere with these two.
Ooh, roll
Oh.
deception.
Someone's working hard on getting them to backstab each other.
So that would be a straight deception, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, Ez has a 0 bonus, so...
The question is Ned smart enough to notice that that this is an intrusive thought?
You see Ned kind of tilt his head and he frowns slightly. And then he looks over at the back of Jeffrey's head with a determined look on his face.
Ez wouldn't have noticed that because she's wandering down, but she's just smiling to herself. And yeah, she's basically just gonna, lead the charge and, just start be strolling down the road,
This part, I grab Irina's arm for a second.
Yeah. You alright?
Irina,
Yes.
diluted berserker. Do you have a diluted berserker potion?
Yes.
I need it.
Why?
Just a little plan.
Elaine?
I know you
Like,
don't
you're not
trust.
doing anything that's stupid, or are you?
I know. I just look at Irina and just go, I know it's hard for you to trust me, but it's just in case.
I do trust you, but these are dangerous.
These are very dangerous.
Zvonak, what happens if a spellcaster can't concentrate on their spells?
That is a good point. I see what you're
Oh,
thinking.
you're not
I
wanting to
see.
use it yourself.
Exactly.
You're going to splash her.
That makes more sense. I thought you were going to use it yourself. Yes.
We got
Alright.
to make sure not to be downwind of that, though.
I was gonna say, can Ez hear this?
Yeah, they're literally talking about it right behind you.
Okay, Ez will sort of stop to know and say, that is a really good idea.
Unless she's
I
so
was-
powerful, she doesn't need to focus too much. Never
Personally,
a world of pain.
I was actually thinking we might use it on the remainder of the pack, throw it in the middle of them and see what happens, but, that isn't such a bad idea as well.
You want them to eat each other alive, it seems.
Ez just has this look, this faraway smile on her face, just imagining the sight.
I see what you think.
Alright, I can see we would this could be used in terms of emergency. Just be careful not to get a sniff of it yourself, Elaine. And she hands you
Don't
over the weak potion.
Okay, I'm just going to keep it just underneath. I'm going to palm it, basically.
Oh, you're trying sleight of hand here.
Yep.
You're getting advanced.
Who are you trying to hide it from?
I'm not. I'm just trying to keep it positioned comfortably in my hand, so when the time comes, I can just use it.
No.
Yeah. He's only going to try to hide it from Baba Yaga until he throws it.
Alright.
If the chance is there.
Oh, and as this is wandering along, it's like the thoughts only just occurred to it. Oh, by the way, when she goes down, I need to be close to her.
So,
Why?
You know what I do. I think that whatever she has, at least having a sniff of power like that would be very useful.
But it might corrupt you.
It is evil, after all.
It is evil power. And I do not want to lose you. As a
No.
person.
I agree with Reister on this one, I'm afraid.
Ez genuinely looks a bit conflicted there. Well,
Ez, I have seen
he's
this.
capable of.
I have seen what this power can do. Trust me on this. It's a power you don't want nothing of.
I would argue it's a power I want very much. Anything to destroy that parasite. What do you know about magic? This has never heard a single part of Reister's backstory.
More than you would imagine.
Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about on this. And if you want a second opinion, I agree on that one. You can't exactly destroy it, Mr. Suckles, if you destroy yourself first.
I have a bad feeling about it, Ez.
Ez looks really, really conflicted. Think about it. Think about it. Something that needs to happen the moment she dies anyway, but think about what we could gain.
Think about what we could lose.
Exactly that, yes. Irina points over her shoulder to Reister.
We could lose. You could lose your sanity. We could lose you. Who
It's
wouldn't
already
want that?
happened before. I am living proof that once it happens, it's not the end. I would still be here.
Something would be here that looks like you and sounds like you, but is no longer you.
You
Trust
consider that?
me.
You consider that to be a bad thing?
That is not. That is nothing. Look, Ez. The person you would become after this, they would not be interested in any of us anymore. Because
You don't know that.
Trust me, I know that. I know that oh too well. But now is not the time for me to dwell on that. You have to trust me on this.
Holds on to Irina's hand and looks. This is probably the most unsure and that she's seemed in a while. Let's just go. Let's just go.
Maybe for now that is the best. If we find the time after this, I'll tell you why I know the things I know.
Are you holding back for a reason there, Zapornik? No? Okay. Alright then.
I'm odd. Give me a break.
Okay. So then.
I was, by the way, this close to a persuasion check.
Ez was having an argument with herself.
As was Irina. If Irina hadn't have made that save,
that
she
high.
would have wholeheartedly agreed with you. Okay.
Oh yes, seriously. Oof. So close.
Well,
I was going to say, I was within 10 feet of her, so any charm effect wouldn't have worked. So
Oh, gosh darn it. Hang on.
I can't see anything
That's
because I'm still
because-
on the DM layer.
That's because I'm an idiot.
No, it's because I'm blindfolded.
I'm just catching up with the Discord and all the gifs that Bloody's been sharing.
Okay, on the token there. I put the the marker on the wrong layer and forgot to basically make it visible to all players. There we are. You should be able to see it now.
See what? All I see is darkness.
Yep.
Darkness inside of me.
Darkness.
Nope.
Hello.
Burns.
Hello. All black darkness, smile. The bloody lights.
Oh, come on.
Now we
You can see a marker.
There we are.
Aha, there we are.
Dynamic lighting! Yay.
Aye.
Okay, so then,
Dynamic lighting on a map.
yous
Did
continue
not only
on
our
down
ocean zone?
the road. And because yous had the werewolves basically give you the gist of the town, yous know what to expect as you approach. Yous don't need a
Hey.
perception check this time round to see what you can see. Although the town is shrouded in heavy mists, the wolves give you information. You see the ruins of several houses. Again, let me use right tilt. Scattered around here. You see the almost intact buildings. Well, the foundations of a manor house. What appears to be an old churchyard. Several more houses. And in the centre of the town, you see a rather large stump of a tree that looks like it would have been impossibly tall if it had grown in the centre of this town, but there doesn't appear to be any more trees around here, or none that would match that bark.
What do I have to roll to see if Zabornik senses anything from the staff that she's holding?
I would roll an nature check. Although you do sense magic from the staff, it does not match the type of nature magic that is around here.
That's one theory out the window.
So it's
So
not
then-
our tree.
The token is now under the control of one of the party. So, you can move it as you will.
It's not...
This
Oh,
is.
aye. I have it.
Ez is going to basically just follow Elaine's lead.
Okay.
Because he's the face of the group.
We're just gonna make our way slowly towards crossroads.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my
Careful,
perception.
Elaine. The ground seems rather muddy.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna use
Anything that is not on the path is marshy terrain.
Right, so I'm gonna quickly look ahead of the houses here and see if I can see anything.
Okay. You see across a cluster of ruined cottages separated by low stone walls. There's a short stretch of a dirt road remaining between them. You see no movement. You do,
Looks to
however,
be some-
catch in the corner of your eye a small patch of fur dark behind this wall.
Seems our friend's getting into position.
Good, good, good.
Should be safe if we keep
Not.
following the road. Come on.
All right.
So, like I say, moving slowly.
That. Oh God, fording places.
Through the streets here.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets about here, and then I'm going to examine the manor house foundations.
Okay. You can see there are some things around, but you can't get a good look through the mist that surround it. You would have to get closer, but you do see a scarecrow right here. It's currently facing in this direction.
While we're in this area as well, Ez is going to try and keep her eye open for anything unusual out of these structures, the old cottages.
I would roll a perception check.
Perception. Boop. Jack shit.
You see nothing. Your mind is still occupied with the debate you had just before you came down the road.
Out of character, everyone in favor of me casting Pass Without Trace?
Oh, thank you.
Let's go with
I've
that.
had an
Thing is,
idea.
as soon as we reach the fence,
Okay, let's go with...
it'll be difficult, but
Meister,
yes.
Right. how many of those bells do you have?
I had 5 of them, I believe. Why? How
I'm gonna-
many do you need?
I think we'll only need the one.
You
I'm gonna
need
point-
one? No.
I'm going to point to this area here and go, this might not work, but could you attach a bell to one of your arrows?
That shouldn't be impossible.
Great. I need you to fire it. I'm going to point to the same area. You try and fire it as far as you can in that direction.
Over there,
Yes.
with the new longbow, the wrath
If you
of the whatever it is.
Yes. If you tie the bell to the arrow, it might draw the scarecrows in that direction.
As long as I don't poke any one of them, I would suggest all of you get behind me just in case I slip.
I think we all do that.
I won't be able to sneak attack because I'm not trying to do damage. Let's see how accurate I can fire it.
Okay. Where was it you were trying to fire it there, sorry? Could you mark that on the map again for me?
Just there.
Okay.
With the bell attached to the arrow.
You fire the arrow, and you hear it tinkle as it launches away, but the bell kind of softens off. It doesn't make any noise until it hits its target. It lands next to that scarecrow. You hear the jingle of the bell. None of the scarecrows move.
Well, so much for that scheme.
Would have had to find some way to do basically a trick shot off of one wall here, over to here, and then hit the scarecrow, so their attention would be drawn there. But that's a task that I've only seen once, and by a master archer, shooting around a corner.
What I'm wondering is whether the scarecrows are smart enough to know that the bell is not a person, or whether they send signs of life.
That is true.
Why
Which
do you
sound-
want to attach Timmy or one of his friends to an arrow?
I prefer not to. Also, that wouldn't really tell us anything about whether they could sense us. This kind of life is very different.
Well, the only way we could get them to move, according to our friends over there, Bryce pointing over to the other side of the road, over to the corner over there, is that they respond to when they're being poked or provoked by a loud scream from one of them.
Wait a second.
Elaine,
Zmonak, would you be able to... I'm going to point at this scarecrow here. Perhaps you could set fire to that one.
I
Just
assure
hope
that's
they
a good
will not
idea.
notice. I just hope they don't notice where the fire came from.
Which is why... you remember what you did to the ants? You were setting fire
Yes.
to from a distance. Perhaps you could try
Yes,
that.
May I make a suggestion on top of that? Could you maybe use your little, ready friend to draw them away once it's on fire?
I'm not sure if I have the range to do that. I'm not sure how fast we can go.
Eh?
Can I just point out that there is one staring right at us?
You mean this one?
Excuse me, where?
Turn to your right.
Oh,
Hello.
That scarecrow is standing there, kind of limp on its stick, but it is facing your direction. Yous are all crouching behind the wall, hiding from this scarecrow, and this one would be in its line of sight.
let's.
Also, we have one that's behind our backs. If we turn around, there's another one.
Irina
Let's
kind of waves her hand. I don't think it's going to do anything.
Let's all move to the right a few steps, see if it still faces us.
Okay.
That doesn't work. We can try and jump to the left.
Don't forget to tuck your
Shall we
knees
do
in
the
tight.
time warp again?
One second. No, it's just clipping straight to grid at second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to hold Alt if you do it, but there you are. If you want to snap outside the grid.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
You test Zabornik's theory by moving around to the right, skirting around the low walls of the ruined cottage. Scarecrow does not move.
It's only wake when it has been awoken by fire, damage, or the call of its master, I would presume.
If that's the case, do you
Either.
think we could just walk right past them?
We could.
Possible.
Aye. Oh man, if those wolves are pulling a fast one on us with this one and laughing their asses off, I'm going to be very cross.
Don't worry, we're going to butcher them all anyway, so,
In that case, let's get on with it.
You're saying the loud part, the quiet parts out loud now.
Hey, Matt.
Okay.
Nothing.
So we're gonna,
It is really distracted at the moment.
I suppose we should make our way to here then.
After you, Sir Elaine.
Okay, so we're gonna start walking to about here, trying to give this lad here a bit of a wide berth, and get ourselves to here.
Okay. You approach the mansion.
The manor house.
The manor house. I have
We're
forgotten
still in
this bit.
darkness.
You should be able to see.
Ah.
Not yet.
Oh, look, the werewolves are already here. And the
Oh, there.
player token box.
Yeah, that made it so much easier. Just to give context to everyone else. That's going to become a little bit more obvious. Ah, goddamn potato. Okay. Just makes
Who are
things a
the
little
two
easier.
werewolf people? As long as we don't have a Sir Elaine yet.
Yep, I'm here.
I mean, a Sir Elaine werewolf. Because if that's the case, well, we're...
To give everyone else context, it just makes things a little easier for the DM if she needs to swap things out. Alright. Okay.
Sir Elaine, Arena, if you could decide who goes where.
Right. Time to do something really crazy. I'm gonna start.
If you need us, we're almost right behind you.
Okay.
Just
Overall, the
far
mansion.
enough away.
As you approach the mansion, you'll see that the ruins of this place seems to be in a little bit better nick, as the mansion itself was built on higher ground, but it's mostly been reduced to piles of stone and rotten timber. There's empty arched windows staring at you, and a little bit south of the ruin, you can see a goat pen surrounded by broken walls.
It's a
Say for
shame.
yourself.
As you approach
Look,
the
they're
manor,
already out there.
you see a shape in the fog. It's assuming the form of a of a giant of a man. His features are mutilated, his entrails are hanging out like frayed ropes. Despite its intimidating presence, the apparition has a cringing light in his eyes. His mournful eyes look over you, and he asks, "Why do you invade my home? Begone, I beseech you."
I take it you're the lord of this manor.
I was once.
Just passing through.
That's why I'm going to start to approach him.
He just kind of looks at you.
I'm just going to try and speak quietly. We're here to deal with the witch. Hopefully give you your freedom.
It is not the witch that binds me.
Then what does?
Strahd.
I was about to say, wrong question.
This was my punishment.
To stay at home? What for?
He wants me to live with the guilt of what I've done to my Marina.
He encountered anyone by that name? Guys, remember anyone with that name?
You do not.
Arena, no.
That's about her.
But I wouldn't be surprised if we might have met her.
She was my
glances over
beloved
to
daughter.
Arena. We have not met her.
No, you have unlikely have. Because I was the
You
one
left
who
her?
killed her.
Are you sending them in the woods?
What? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. By sending them in the woods?
No. We thought it would be a mercy to spare her from the monster's eye. He came, he tried to
To your
claim her.
daughter.
We couldn't let her become one of those things.
How long ago was this?
Decades. Centuries, I don't know.
I have the feeling that I do. That
Ez is going to try and keep in between Irina and the figure as best she can.
I'll be back in a second. Sorry about this.
That's alright.
No problem.
It happens. Curse you, real life. While this is going on, Ez is going to try and sort of move herself between Irina and the ghost, because yeah, she's kind of got
Ez?
work to do.
Ez, you're doing just what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because family might recognize one another.
Before Sephi comes back, I don't. For dealing with a ghost, out of character.
What was that?
I was going to say, out of character, do we have any plans for dealing with a ghost? Because basically, I thought the basic plan was to go straight for the Baba Yaga. Ed has no clue what to do with this situation.
It seems like the ghost is entirely powerless and
Is it maybe arachnophobic?
I will say if Zabornak is thinking of turning into a spider, you might find out something interesting about airs. Ugh.
Ah, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Even Reister thinks that there's no way of dealing with the ghost and... Well,
I mean, we've got a paladin that can use radiant damage, so that should be something if it
Yeah.
comes to it. But
the thing is, he's just gonna bounce back. It's gonna take a few years, but he'll be back.
as long as he's not a threat, there shouldn't be a problem.
Right now he isn't, I would say.
Okay. As he's talking about his daughter, he kind of sits down on what was probably once a stairway into the house and rests his head in his hands.
At least you had a son.
I shouldn't have listened to the priest. I should have sent her away.
You did what you thought was the best you could do.
I thought I'd save her soul from damnation. But all I know is it was probably recycled and born again. I don't know what fate I put on her.
What was your daughter's name?
Marna.
Arna.
The tomb lies over there. He points off to the mist in the west.
When the Paragon who thinks he rules this land came to claim her, did he use a different name?
He called her Tatiana. How do you know this?
Okay, not direct family.
We have heard many stories down the years of him attempting to do the same thing different times.
Is that you back, Seffi?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. The ghost has just
It's fine.
revealed that whenever Strahd came, he called his daughter Tatiana.
And his daughter was not Irina.
No.
Oh, yes, I know. Basically, Ez has been, positioning herself between Irina and the ghost, so he doesn't get a good look at her. But the basic they're working on the implication that this was one of Irina's.
The same soul. Same soul, different person.
So yeah, while this is going on, Ez just has one arm out behind her, and she's just holding on to Irina's hand. Can she feel Irina doing anything with this information?
Irina's hand is loose in your grip.
As I'll actually turn to look at Irina and quietly with, I'd say again, like, with telepathy and everything, Ez will be like, are you alright? What do you want us to do?
You notice she's looking around the mansion almost as if she vaguely recognizes it.
Not your home.
I know,
Not
but
anymore.
this is a very odd sensation. I've never been here. but I feel like I have.
Your soul has been here.
Oh, how quietly did Reister say that?
Almost a whisper.
Would you like to roll a stealth check for me?
I'm totally not going to blow this.
Oh.
Nope. I should completely.
Okay. As you say, your soul has been here. The sitting spirit sits bolt upright and stands. He's nearly a foot taller than all of you, and he looks directly over the top of your heads.
Careful, don't spill those guts.
Step aside, please.
Not
What?
going to hurt her.
So what about the weather we're having today? It's quite foggy, isn't it?
Ez is keeping firm hold of Irina's hand, but she is gonna try and motion to Reister to step out of the spirit's way. It's okay, he's not there. We're here.
Don't do.
He steps forward and he starts looking over Irina, and she has a really unsure expression on her face. It's going between the absolute horror of the grotesque image to somewhat familiarity, as just flickering between them. The spirit kind of he staggers and falls to his knees. Can you ever forgive me for what I did? Irina looks around the party.
Elaine just nods.
Zabornik shrugs.
I think you've suffered enough. My soul is fine. You can rest now if that's what's keeping you here. The spirit stands. He sets his hands on Irina's shoulders, and she just goes ramrod straight as he puts his forehead towards hers and just whispers, "I'm sorry, my daughter," as the spirit fades.
Well, I'm fairly certain the folks who back at the guild won't believe this.
Are you okay, Irina?
Ah. Oh, that was very, very disturbing.
I guess so.
Can you press on, or would you prefer a break now?
I'm
This is a bit of it.
fine, don't worry about me, it's just... Have you ever been touched by a ghost? That was freezing.
Oh yeah. That.
No, ever been bitten? You ever been bitten by a werewolf? Hurts like hell.
No, but I've been bitten by a vampire.
Yeah, but I can't say the two are familiar. Never been bitten by a vampire, at least.
The point is... When he touched me, I felt like I knew him. I had memories of him as a man, but... Now I can't recall them at all.
Because they weren't the memories of Irina.
I suppose that's true.
They were your members, my dear.
They were
Yeah.
yours, and yet they weren't yours.
I know, I've had this sensation before. Memories of
Do tell.
people and places I've never been or never met. But, well, I forget them moments later. Even now I couldn't tell you what colour this house was when I saw it in my memory a minute ago.
White.
Enough to drive you insane, isn't it? Thin.
Oh,
Almost.
There's other things that can drive one insane.
On the upside, anything we find here technically belongs to you already.
Possibly. Funny,
Oh,
a
it
moment
belongs
ago I knew
to-
that man's name, and now I don't.
That matters is somebody loved you and wanted to keep you safe.
There's more people now.
Well, as we said, it wasn't me.
It was you and yet not you.
It was a part of you.
You know, this land is completely confusing me.
Walks back, as is just like, just covering her face, just like desperately trying to just like wake herself up and get back to normal. I'm fine.
You okay?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
There's one thing I don't like when you do it, and that is lying.
You enter into the ruins of the mansion and see that there is not much left beyond the foundations and the shell of the first floor. Any furniture, flooring, decorations on the wall has long since rotted.
I
Must have been a
mean,
really
it's
nice
almost
house.
as bad as the dust house.
Well, that thing crumbled after we left.
Yeah, this one's way ahead of us on that one.
Yeah, it's muddy.
Unfortunately, at this rate, the only decent home that we have available to us is your brother's. He says to Irina.
Yes.
How do you know my brother has a house? That
This is
was
very
a
mad.
joke as.
Is rolls her eye.
Thank you, Spornak, for the rim shutter. I don't know how you managed to get a drum kit in there.
And you will never know.
Yes.
Anyway, I kind of like this place. I like it when nature reclaims buildings.
I like it when nature leaves roofs on houses, but there we have to disagree. We have to agree to disagree. I don't have a shell like you, after all.
You okay, my dear?
Oh, yeah. It's just... You mentioned Ismark. I'm worried about him.
You will be fine.
I don't know. He found out he was lying to him. I just hope he's alright.
Is there any way that we could send word for him to move closer to us so we could keep an eye on him?
He's the
Probably not.
Burgomaster now.
Yes. If he is okay,
He has to stay.
he has to watch over the town.
We could try sending word. But with these lands, I don't know.
Once things are a little more stable here with the winery and everything, I think it might be useful to try and... It's his job and all, but frankly, I understand your concern, and he should probably get as far away from the village as possible.
Then
Probably.
what?
I don't know if... I don't know if Valkyrie is more secure, but it seems to be free of his corruption.
As Do I need to remind you who's currently in the house of
Well,
the
comparatively.
Watcher family?
God damn it.
You know what I want.
Severity.
Oh, for wolf penis.
So 96%.
Alright. Okay. You're scanning around, trying to see what you can see, but you're so focused on looking around, you walk smack dab into this bush and get poked in the eye with a branch.
Ah,
I was literally about to say he looks around so hard that he stabs himself in the eye.
Ez is going to try and help pull him out of the bush. You know, for the face of the group, you really don't take care of yourself very well, do you? And she'll start pulling twigs out, mumbling to herself.
just thinking. Luring Baba Yaga out. Trying to see if the four of you could maybe hide. I just point at these entrances and just say, could hide, you could probably ambush her.
Not a bad idea, actually. No. Okay.
Also, I suspect that our backup isn't too far away.
You
Yes, and
hear
not be.
through the fog from over here to the west.
That's an ill-timed goat.
Question was that did the party just hear a goat, or did the party just hear somebody making a goat sound?
It was a goat.
Okay, okay.
It was a sick DM trying to make a goat noise.
I apologize. We weren't too sure if that was a very frail werewolf trying to make a goat sound. Ez is going to wander over and investigate the goat.
Woof! I mean, bah!
Ram you. Whereabouts was this?
This way.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So it came from over there. Is
Reister,
well,
I would like you to make me a dexterity save.
What?
you really want me to jump over the crate?
Actually, it was the staircase.
Oh, it's a staircase.
Yeah. The
All
ground
right.
around it is... Okay then. As you're investigating around the staircase to what appears to be a cellar, the ground starts to shift and crumble, but you manage to deftly avoid it as the side of the stairs cave in slightly.
Careful around back there.
Ez isn't touching the fence, but she is looking at the goats with sort of like an evil smile. Look, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Do you have to be like this?
No, but it gives me pleasure.
Huh.
Well,
Alright, as you look around the goat pen, you see that there are roughly about 9 goats milling around.
I can only see 8 from here. Barely.
Okay then, the DM can't count. There were supposed to be 9 goats, there are 10. Or there are 8 even.
There is a number of goats.
Yes.
A number between 5 and 10. Could be 6. Could be 10. Could be 9. Who knows? Magic.
The werewolves managed to get one. Shush.
Do you think that this is the fence that they were talking about?
There's one way to find out.
Okay.
Probably
well,
want
you-
to be hiding first.
That's
the
why I'm
fence
behind the bush.
is pretty crude, forming an odd square. There are several goats pen inside, but on each of the fence posts are human skulls.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna roll Arcana to see if Zabonic knows anything about that.
You can.
Ez is also going to very quickly draw a little maze pattern in the ground, and she's going to try detecting magic on the fence.
Alright. Zabornik, you would know that certain spells do use human components in the form of necromancy. And
Oh.
after a while, Ez, after doing some chanting and such, does detect there is magic in the skulls and the fence.
Hey, ask you thinking what I'm thinking on these?
I don't know, Zabornak. Where are we supposed to find a ventriloquist act at this late night? But that was the worst Pinky in the Brain joke ever. I apologize.
Yes, but me and Pippi Longstockings, think of the children.
That's a better one.
My favourite one was always
Is the
where we're
one
going to find a
you-
monkey this late on a Saturday night.
I was always a big fan of. Why would anyone want to Pierce Brosnan?
My gosh.
I found prints! No, fingerprints! I don't think so. Anyhow,
Now we're going all the way through Warner's cartoons.
I missed that show. Anywho,
As is going to nod to Zabornak, yes, this is the fence.
Yeah, some kind of, I think, necromantic incantation or something like that.
So all we need to do is get somebody to poke that, and then we should have our prey.
How about
It's
we
that
poke
like
it
this time
from-
it's the canary, you know?
Zbornak,
Yeah.
just out of interest, would you be able to speak with these goats?
What do you want to know from them?
Just generally, what kind of spell could be on here?
You see, goats are not exactly what you would consider a natural spellcaster. I doubt they would know any of the specifics on this.
Even a general idea would be useful.
I can ask.
So we know the spell that is gonna be.
alright. You now can speak to animals. What would you like to do?
Hello, you guys.
Hello!
How's the grass today?
It's tasty!
Zabornik actually plucks out a handful of grass from the ground and eats some to create a little bit of a familiar relationship. And goes on.
So, stupid thing that's around you, isn't it?
Yeah, it keeps the wolves away, though.
Yeah, but how does it do that anyway?
I don't know, it shouts at them.
It shouts.
Yeah, we shout too. They run away.
When does it start shouting?
When they try to get us?
Like, do they have to touch it first?
Oh, yeah. One time, they tried to jump over, and we started screaming, and then the witch came, and they chased him away. The old lady.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, when was the last time that happened?
The goats look around and confer for a moment. We don't know!
Yeah, that's about what I expected, but I thought I'd ask anyway.
Hey!
Rice is getting sleepy over all the bawling.
You
Rysta, stop counting them.
got any veggies?
Oh, not with me right now, but I could if I come back.
Bring us veggies! We like veggies.
Hey, you guys, any one of us have any vegetables for them? They're asking.
Mm.
No? Okay.
I'm
Don't
usually
know
not
if
the
this
carrot
is,
guy.
Like
So,
one of these, Ez is actually going to reach into her pocket and she's going to toss them one of the flavorless rations that she picked up back in the Durst house. Because why not?
here you go.
These three goats start fighting over it, like butting heads.
Hey, no fighting. You can share.
Well, we like to butt.
Fair point. I'll leave you to that. Anyway, does the witch come every time the fence starts shouting?
Oh yeah. She
Every
doesn't like it
single
when the
time.
wolves come.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Who likes wolves? Nobody likes wolves.
Irina narrows her eyes. No, wait, you're speaking of
Ez-
animals, so you shouldn't understand.
Ez doesn't know that either, damn it.
Well, if I told you all the trouble I have with wolves all of the time, you wouldn't believe me. I can tell you that. Anyway, I hope you have a nice day, and just in case, you maybe want to get away from the edges of the fence, and maybe you want to sit down. I know sometimes you all sheep and goats all fall over when something scary happens, and there may be something scary happening soon, and I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
So yeah, have a nice day.
Okay. They're kind of looking at you with this dead-eyed look, just like, "Hi."
I fucking love these guys so much. Oh my gosh.
Too bad we don't understand them.
Oh, if only we could take them with us at all times.
Oh god.
Road trip! Yay!
Anyway, Zabonic turns back to the rest of the party and confirms that the fence basically is an alarm system that calls Baba Yaga there, or at least what we assume to be Baba Yaga.
Okay, where is the best place for us to hide? The house seems a little bit out of the way. I mean, bushes.
Don't ask me, I don't see shit.
I would
Oh
suspect.
yeah, that is true. Zabornik has no sign, no light source. Actually, I'm gonna increase your vision
have
a
no
little bit
light?
because it's only foggy. It's not light, not dark.
Thank
Look.
you.
There you go.
Behind this
That is
bush
way better.
or behind this one? Do you even see me, Sponic?
Yeah, now I do. Well, almost.
Rice is waving his lantern a little bit around.
Oh, if you got a
And,
lantern?
There
yeah.
you are.
Are you...
Yeah, I have my I have a lantern.
Okay, then... There. Ricer has a lantern.
You probably want to douse that when we call her.
Yes. Sorry,
Also,
Sponic.
Elaine, are you okay with being the canary in this situation?
Wait, I think I
Bonnet.
still have to.
Get behind the
Yeah.
bush, not in front of it.
I still have some of the tricky guys. I wonder if they would trigger the alarm.
Ah.
That's a thought.
Get them to, will they follow your commands?
I think there's always throwing.
Timmy
Oh,
might.
that was. Yeah, I don't want to risk Timmy. He seems nice, but I can throw the other ones at the thing. I tried talking to them. It won't work. It's their own fault.
I extinguish my lantern.
Okay.
Sorry, Sponic.
Okay.
Elaine, here's the question. Are you hiding with us? Are you instigating a conversation with her? Or are we just basically all waiting to jump her?
I'll get her talking. That way any of you can get in position quickly.
Okay, you be safe. He'll kiss Elaine on the third cheek before heading over to the bush. Actually, she'll slide down a bit here.
I must have misheard that.
What did you mishear?
I heard kisses him on the third cheek, and
No.
Oh my god!
How many cheeks do you have?
I love that.
Technically speaking, 4.
Yeah.
anyway,
The question is where you start counting.
Lord. But yeah, she'll murmur in Celestial as she goes away. Good luck.
Here's probably just going to put the helmet on.
In FaceTime.
And I'm going to gently press my hand onto the fence here.
Alright. As you touch the fence, the nearest skull on the fence post suddenly jumps upward. Its jaw snaps open and it lets out an unholy scream. The goats in the pen all run to the center, and they start screaming as well.
I told them it would.
The scream seems to echo around the small valley of breeze, and the fog around you starts to swirl around as it starts to thin, and more daylight is starting to eke through. The mist clears as you start to hear getting closer and closer as things as the trees start to shift, as the first, if I go into the right token there, as a scarecrow appears.
Scarecrow or Werecrow?
Right here. It hops in front of the pen for a moment. It sees Sir Lane. And then it starts to hop away. The mist swirls once more as you start to see what appears to be a giant skull, upended and flying towards you. Perched inside is an aged woman. As it starts to hover nearer and nearer towards the pen, she locks eyes with you, waves her hand, and the goats and the fence go silent. She glares down at you. What are you doing here?
At this point, I start putting on my other voice, and I take it that you are Baba Yaga, correct?
You know my name?
Word of your name has spread very far in this. I hear that you are wise in many things, particularly the ways of darkness.
That I am. And what business is it of yours?
I seek, well, I hesitate to say enlightenment. Quite the opposite, in fact.
And why would I give that to you?
Well, I think it would benefit everyone in this land for a little interesting fun were to happen.
She leans forward and steeples her fingers on the rim of the skull as she looks you over. Well, step closer, so I can have a better look at you.
This is going on. Ez is going to, because she's in a bit of a rough position, she's going to try and stealthily make her way down this end over here.
I would like a stealth check, and remember, you are still under the effects of Pass Without a Trace.
Okay, so stealth is going to be
17.
plus 17.
17. Okay.
I was going to kind of stop here for a second and just try and keep Baba Yaga focused on me. Wait. How do I know you've not got some sort of enchantment on you? For example, I could move within a certain range of you. You could completely enchant me.
I could, that's true. It's just a statement of fact, darling. But you
Either way,
came
I
to
think-
me.
Well, perhaps you might indulge me and come a little bit closer. Neutral ground, so to speak.
You've come to my home, and you're making demands of me.
The Wolf King is nothing if not.
There is no king in this land but my son.
Your son. Ah, yes. I have heard many great things about him.
And yet you come to me for power so you can try to usurp him.
I seek allies.
In what purpose?
There is a land far from here. Oh, well, not that far, but you get what I mean. I require allies to take it for myself.
And why is this of interest to me?
Well, perhaps I could be of use to your son.
Go on. How would you prove yourself?
Sorry about that, my microphone disconnected. Well,
She's asking how would you prove yourself.
alright, sorry. Well, that remains to be seen. But I'm very, very keen to meet him.
Well, he doesn't visit his poor mother very much. But I still don't see why your goals are of any concern to me.
Perhaps he requires additional blood? Fresh souls, possibly?
While this is going on, has Ez noticed the growing number of scarecrows at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay, she's going to whisper that via telepathy. She's going to let Elaine know that there's a whole bunch of them starting south.
Okay. Now, as you say fresh blood and souls, you see her eyebrow raise. It looks like you've piqued her interest.
After all, from what I've understood, this land is not exactly abundant in new souls.
Sad fact, I'm afraid, yes. But you seem fresh.
I have my ways of acquiring a few wastrels. And after all, once I am king of my land, I will have to dispose of some people.
You speak of conquering your home, but you won't be able to leave. No soul who enters this kingdom leaves again.
But is that not at the discretion of your son?
Perhaps. But he has not seen fit to let anyone leave in a long time.
So, not even the opportunity for fresh souls can tempt him?
My son has ways of obtaining fresh souls for himself. You're here.
If I chose to come here.
Rule deception.
Technically speaking, he's...
You're not technically lying, yes, but you are trying to distract her at this point.
For some reason it's a... Hang on. Did it come on? Hang on. Ah, take the first one.
Okay. She's going to narrow her eyes at you. You're talking a lot. I'm not entirely sure I'm content of this scope of conversation. She raises her hand, and you can see the scarecrows hop ever so slightly closer.
From her position, Ez is readying an action to cast energy beam at the nearest scarecrow over here.
Okay.
But she's just sent a message to Elaine that she's waiting for him to give the word.
Oh, come now, this is negotiation. Negotiations are about talking.
You still haven't quite... What is it you actually seek from me?
Well, as I said, I wouldn't mind a way of getting into your son's good graces, so to speak.
My dear boy hasn't spoken to me in some time. But if you want to serve him, you could always present yourself at Ravenloft.
And how easy would it be to get into Ravenloft?
Usually by the front gate.
Is it that simple? I would assume he had guards or
No.
some kind of a natural horror to wait for intruders.
My son is a just ruler. His home is open to all his citizens.
I see. So we could basically just waltz up to the front door.
Yes.
Okay. Then I thank you for your
Surely, if you've come this far, you've passed by his home.
Oh yes, we have, but as I said, discretion's a better part of valor.
I can see that. Now then, there is one thing we could do before we continue this conversation.
Go on.
She's going to point towards you. And you hear her mutter something. Her hand twitches.
Zone of truth.
And I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Lord God, work.
In the meantime,
Natural 20.
Natural 20. All right. As you all watch, Sir Elaine twitches violently and starts to hunch over as his face starts to shift and turn into a goat, but he shifts back and shakes off the spell. And Baba Yaga kind of looks at him and goes, strong-willed little creature, aren't you?
She says that Ez releases the action she's been holding, and she's going to cast a fire energy beam at Baba Yaga.
Ooh. Roll an attack then.
The moment she saw that a spell was going off, she went straight for her.
Rasta at the same time was holding ready
And-
his longbow, and he's going to shoot at Baba Yaga as well.
And I'm
Okay.
taking advantage of this to throw the vial of Berserker Potion at her.
All right. So first things
Try and
first,
splash her with
we'll go down the line.
Hmm.
Zabornik, did you have anything prepared for this?
No, Zabarnik is just going to quickly ask Irina.
Hey, how's your throwing arm?
Fairly good, I think.
Good. In a moment, I'm not going to be able to talk, but I want you to, this is going to make sense. I want you to try to throw me at her the first opportunity you get.
What?
And
Before
Zabarnik
Irina's
turns into an ordinary
eyes.
turtle.
Before Irina's eyes. Zabornik shifts into a tiny turtle.
Tiny turtle.
Tiny turtle.
Until
And waddles into Irina's arms. And Irina looks exceptionally confused. My god. Okay, alright. So, going down the line. Ez, does she have to make a dexterity saving throw for that energy beam? And if so, what does she need to beat?
Yes, she does. I believe she needs to beat my spell proficiency. Apologies. The energy beam is the only thing that I don't have up on roll 20, so I'm just looking it up. Yeah, she needs to make a dexterity saving throw, so I guess that's with my spell D and my, let's see, combat. Spell save DC is not listed because screw me. It's supposed to be the charisma one. Let me just check the roll 20 sheet.
Okay, well, you figure that out. We'll move on to Reister. Reister, 19 does hit. Would you like to roll your damage, please? Ooh, very nice.
well, that sneak attack.
Yeah, that
you do get sneak attack.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Didn't turn that on, eh?
That's fine.
That's
So that
two.
is 10 damage in total. Alright.
She's gonna be pissed.
Oh, yeah. Irina is going to make a throw.
Plop.
Tiny turtle bounces to the ground here. Sorry.
Whoops. Arrogant.
I have
Oh,
no
say-
idea what you expected. But
She's terrible.
does 14 manage to beat you, Dennis?
Yeah, it's a spell save DC of 12, so yeah.
Okay, so I'm afraid she dodged that then. In that case, could everybody roll
I was
initiative?
going to say, I threw the potion at her.
Oh yeah, you did throw the potion at her. Make me a
Was
quick
that
dex.
before or after Irina threw the turtle?
After.
Okay, make a quick dex
Okay.
save. Or dex check, sorry.
Oh, damn it, only 8.
Alright.
Dear.
Plus,
She already used her reaction to dodge something else, so this does actually smash on her skull, not directly on her giant riding skull. So we'll see if she makes the check for that. Where's the stats for that potion? Magical items, berserk potion. It's the weak one. Meets it, beats it.
Damn.
I would also like you to make that saving check as well, Sirlane.
Okay, Constitution save. Oh, god damn it.
Oh, this was such a good plan, wasn't it, guys?
Can you roll for severity, please?
Goodbye, party.
It's been fun.
Okay, not so bad. A red mist descends. You must smash. Okay, I need to get the scarecrows. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, Sir Elaine is now raging.
Probably shouldn't have thrown it when you were right next to her. Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I figured that would be out. I figured that would be out of range if I threw it.
You threw it, it kind of just smashed here, right in front of you.
Ah, yeah. Doesn't roll badly on that one.
However, luckily, it has evaporated, so while he is still under the effects, no one else who enters the area now will have to do that save again. Okay, I just need to get Arena's initiative. Okay, is that everybody
Too
in
bad
there?
that Bob.
I
Too
believe
bad
so.
Bob.
I think so.
Okay. So then. First up in the turn order is Arena. She is going to scurry over and scoop up the turtle. Do you want me to try again? Are you nodding your
Zbonic
head?
nods.
Okay. Sorry. She's going to try again.
Does it make a difference?
Because she's
Plop,
closer.
Clonk,
That makes it.
plop, clonk.
So-
Okay, so Zbonic is obviously going to just before she hits.
Okay.
What do I need to roll?
You should have an action on your sheet called Cannonball.
Where is it?
One that came in like a wrecking ball, rather.
Gosh.
Hold on. Can you... Trying to find it, sorry. Where may it be on my sheet?
Let me see.
I think that might actually have been a little bit of sarcasm.
No, literally,
No, I
I'm
think so.
sure I put it on there when I first looked up the stats for this. Shell defense, armor efficiency. Staffing wood.
Should have given Sir Elaine Bardic inspiration. I always forget that. Maybe then he would have thrown better.
Yeah, true. Alright then, well, let me see if I can get that again. Basically, creature. Where's creature? There it is. Oh, did you find it? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, while I look this up, you can have a ponder.
Sorry.
It's his only concern is going to be that Irina gets out of range of Elaine.
Nope, it's not on my sheet.
Must have been lost. Let's
Not
see.
even under abilities, features, and traits.
Okay.
Nope.
Here we are.
Like I'm...
Essentially, I'm just looking this up now, back in our chat for a while.
sorry for...
That's alright, it's
taking
fine.
it.
Or under attacks and spellcasting.
No, it's I'm literally control Fing this, and there's no cannon or no ball.
Just trying to see how long
Alright.
did we talk about this? Oh, here we are. Here's the conversation about the beast shapes. No, it was before that.
Now is a good time, actually, to promote.
Yeah, you could promote your convention
okay.
you're going to there,
Oh yes.
Matt.
Hello there, boys and girls. Weekend, Dennis will not be able to play the game, sadly, because he and his wife will be with their studio, Lunar Blaze Studios. We're going to be at the Anime Blues Con over here in Memphis. Tickets, I think, day passes are on sale. It's a convention we've done for about 3 years now. I will honestly say on record, it is my favorite convention to attend to as a vendor. We always have some great conversations with the people who come to our table and everything. We have a great time there. There's a really good local community of artists and, cosplayers and everything. And I think it's a really, really good place to check out. So, yeah, ABC, the Anime Blues Con, be there next weekend, if you can afford it.
And that's in Memphis, Tennessee. So if you're in the Memphis, Tennessee area, give it a go.
Yes.
I find it.
Hey!
Okay, I've just
Exciting.
said it to you again. Ranged weapon attack. It's called Cannonball. Ranged weapon attack, 30 foot, 1 target. Hit 3d10 bludgeoning damage. Zabornik is prone after this attack, regardless of hit or miss.
Do that.
Well, Zbornik will be in the skull, regardless of in case of a hit. Because she'll knock Baba Yaga out of this thing.
Yep.
So that's going to be a 17.
Yep. So that is that many. You crack the... hit the side of the skull, smacking the old woman as you transform back into your full shape. The skull wobbles wildly, but Baba Yaga is going to make a dexterity save. Where's your dex? That's the scarecrow.
Let's see her fall out of that thing.
Please let it happen.
No, she manages to hold on.
So
However,
helping out.
Zabornik is now on her back next to the turtle.
You can't dance with a turtle on your back.
Funny fight! Yay!
Arena's just going to look around and go, alright! And then she's going to draw her rapier across the back of her hand and use her blood melody, or the Crimson Rite even, to make it crackle with electrical energy.
That's a long explanation.
Okay. Next up is Little Boy Blue. How much is their movement? Ah, really? Okay.
That's not Little Boy Blue.
Yeah, you're right, it is. It's alright, my bad. 10, 15. Okay. So he's there. Zabornik, can you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
If I said no, would I? Okay.
You're perfectly fine. The scarecrow glares at you and you see a malevolence in its eyes, but you're like, boy, I'm on my back. I have worse things to worry about than you. Reister.
Suck it, Scarecrow.
Two things. One, Elaine, snap out of it. I'm giving Elaine one bardic inspiration. So in case he rolls again, he can... And I'm wanting him to use it only for getting back up to his senses. He can use this to improve his roll.
Okay.
That's one thing. Next thing, Baba Yaga,
Ooh,
Wrath of
very
the
nice.
Skies.
Alright, Alright, so that's 11 damage.
Yeah, I assume at least she's not looking at me.
No.
She's
No,
probably
she's
a little bit stunned from the turtle
Oh, yes.
that
Very,
just
very, very much
jumped
so.
out at her.
Okay, and are you making any movement?
Nope.
And that's
I'm
you.
staying right where I am. I'm trying to conceal myself again.
Okay, it is Red Boy's turn. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to go here. Esmeralda, will you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
Your wisdom. That's gonna be
As is
fine.
the wisest ever.
Boop.
You're fine. This thing is glaring at you, and you're like, nah, you look like a puppet.
He just hisses back.
Okay. We're just going to keep using the tiny turtle icon for Zabornik, so Zabornik, it is your go.
Alright. What exactly is Zabornik's position now?
You are on your back on the ground.
On the ground, okay. So, can I still use a cantrip if I use my turn to, stop being on my back?
You only take a penalty to your movement. If you stand up, it takes half your movement. So you can still
Okay.
use your attack and bonus action. Perfectly fine.
So you can stand up, shillelagh, end.
What I'm going to do is...
You can stand up, shillelagh, attack. Because shillelagh is a bonus action, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
However, instead of using the shillelagh, I'm going to use Druidcraft to see if I can set Mr. Blue here on fire.
Alright, okay.
Because he is campfire waiting to happen.
Alright. Let's do a little bit of dexterity save for him. Nah, he manages to hop away from the spark in front of him.
Oh. Well, since
You still have a bonus action.
bonus action, no, I can use the shovel.
You can always use vicious mockery.
Not yet. Gotta save some.
Okay.
Okay, and that's my turn.
Next up is Pinky. 5,
Without
10,
the brain.
15, 20, 25, 30. And how far is this? Not too far. Okay. Next up is this one. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. Yes. Sure go.
Hello. Okay, bonus action, she's going to run her Capesh across her hand and flame up. She's going to howl, basically and saying, whenever you're ready! And she is going to, sorry, I'm looking for the right symbol, and then she's going to step forward and take a swing at this little red bugger.
Okay, roll it.
Going to be her Capesh.
That hits.
So that's 4 regular and 2 fire.
Okay. There's a little boy red.
And she's going to... Sorry, you first.
I was just saying it's the red one.
Oh, she's got 2 attacks, so she's going to make a second attack. Second verse, same as the first.
Okay. So you slash down on this scarecrow. With your first slash, you set its stuffing on fire, which appears to be raven feathers. And your second slash, in an absolute puff of feathers, it explodes and falls to the ground.
Nice.
Didn't even manage to get it yelled out.
It has no mouth, and yet it must scream. Okay.
If only you knew how much I hate you with every fiber of my existence.
Elaine, I would like
Yep.
you to roll me a d6.
D6, 1 second. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay. 1,
Oh, sorry.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You really have to hurt that goat.
Yes.
Can I try my wisdom saving throw?
Unfortunately, you have one saving throw, and you failed it. You're under the effects of this until either someone forcibly snaps you out of it, or it fades.
I'm going to leap over the fence and bring my sword straight down into the goat.
Roll an attack. Essentially, to make it a little bit more balanced, if you receive damage, I will let you make another wisdom save.
That's a 9.
Okay. Yeah, you decapitate this goat.
Bonicus, traitor, traitor.
Someone just huck a pebble at me or something.
Sorry, guys, he doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe move away from him.
Oh God! They got Larry! Okay.